Edge of Eternities is out now, but since today was a surprise stream, I decided to play something not terribly crazy. Let's see how Traditional Lantern holds up in this new meta. Hello y'all, welcome to Fateseal MTG. I am Crex, your host, and today we are returning to a traditional build. I have a couple of other things in the works as far as non-traditional Lantern builds, but I did want a little bit of a palette cleanser. I know Edge of Eternities has been very exciting. The new Tezzeret Cruel Captain has a home somewhere, maybe. I don't know. In the meantime, I just wanted to play something nice, comfortable, safe, something that I would have a lot of experience in, something that would make me feel all warm and fuzzy going through the leagues. And this is that list. If you are going to be playing a traditional build of Lantern Control, this is what I would officially recommend trying out. It has my standard Lantern split, 4 Lantern, 4 Pyxis, 2 Shredder. That's kind of my signature at this point, alongside the 2 Duresses, which is my other signature. We've got the full suite of Hate Rocks here, only playing 2 Needle in the main today. I've got the 3rd Needle in the sideboard. The interaction suite is a little weird. I decided to add a Cling to Dust. I have played this card a little bit in the past. It's been okay. Jury's still out as to whether I should just be playing a second Assassin's Trophy. I don't know about that. We also have the full 8 discard here. I am not playing additional discard today. Some other lists have been testing out Dreams of Steel and Oil, which is a card that allows you to exile a creature or artifact card from your opponent's hand and from their graveyard at the same time, actually. And some folks have been finding success with that. I didn't find the room for Dreams today. I'm just going to continue playing my standard suite. And the consistency system. I've got 3 Profane Tutor, 3 Mishra's Bauble, and 4 Ancient Stirrings. I don't really want my hand getting clogged full of Profane Tutor, so I decided to trim one, bringing it down to 3. It's still very good, though, and I'm certainly not going to go any lower than that. And the 3 Mishra's Bauble is just something that I'm trying out a little bit. Mishra's Bauble's play patterns are things that I'm comfortable playing, and I don't know. I think that it might be decent. It certainly helps when you're only keeping 1 landers, which happens sometimes. I've got a couple of additional fetches in here, nothing too crazy in the mana base. The sideboard is a little bit interesting. I've got Torpor Orbs in the sideboard for those black-white blink decks. I've got some Assassin's Trophy as catch-all removal for a lot of different things. Fatal Push is in here for the fast aggro decks. It's also in here, I believe I can sign these in versus Brood Scale. Ashiok is for Storm, but mostly for Amulet Titan, honestly. And I've also got the 3rd Fatal Push. Not the 3rd Fatal Push, the 3rd Pithing Needle in the sideboard. So let's go ahead and run this through a league and see how it does. I'll get started with round 1 in just a moment. Excellent. We have started round 1 versus I Get Nervous. You know, sometimes I get nervous too. I will be on the play here. Ooh, this is a hand. Yeah, let's keep this. Now, I'm not really in a position to drop Urza Saga on turn 1, so I will simply fetch a basic swamp here into Lantern of Insight. Not really finding many ways to combo off with this Mishra's Bauble quite yet, unfortunately. Quantum Riddler, huh? Okay, that's fine. Looks like my opponent might be playing some Esper Blink deck here. Oh no, they're just playing Guide of Souls. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I have the Ensnaring Bridge, fortunately. There's a Blooming Marsh on top of my deck. I'm very happy to see that. I think I will simply play out my 1-drop artifacts here. I'm going to hold that Mishra's Bauble, though. And it looks like this might just be blue-white. That Verge being white base is very nice for them. They elected to play a fetch land instead of the Plains. That is an Ocelot Pride. All right. They're going to swing in here. Now, I could simply create some Urza Saga constructs here. And I think I might elect to do that. I could drop this Ensnaring Bridge. I don't know how good that is. I think I might just play the constructs here. Oh, but I need to drop this Mishra's Bauble. I need to remember to do that to make my constructs just a little bit bigger. My opponent is fetching. Are they going to fetch that Meticulous Archive? Likely surveilling away this Arid Mesa on top of their deck. Oh, they kept it on top. That's interesting. Plains is down. They are going to warp this Quantum Riddler. They're going to draw that Solitude. Okay, that's fine. Solitude is in their hand now. And I believe they're just going to make this guy bigger, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'll create the construct now. They came so close to getting the City's Blessing there. Just a couple permanents away. Now, they have an Arid Mesa and a Solitude in hand, and they have 3 unknowns. I'm really wishing that I had a discard spell right now. Do I cycle this Mishra's Bauble, hoping to draw into a discard spell? I don't believe I do. I could fully lower Bridge if I grabbed Mox Opal. I don't think that's correct. There's not really much of a difference between me popping Mishra's Bauble here and not popping Mishra's Bauble. Because if I have the additional card, then I will have in my hand Ensnaring Bridge, Urza Saga, Profane Tutor, plus an unknown. So 4 cards. I drop Saga, I drop Bridge, that brings me down to 2 cards. And they don't have any 2-power creatures in play. They've only got 1 energy. I think I am going to give up on the aggro plan. I'm going to pop this Bauble. I'm going to draw the Profane Tutor. And that is an Inquisition of Kozilek. I'm very happy to draw that. Okay, let's go ahead and grab... Do I grab Pyxis? Yeah, library sizes are equal. I'll go ahead and grab Pyxis here. Ooh, that is a Pyxis on top of my deck. Very happy to see that. Let's go ahead and Inquisition our opponent. They did have the Static Prison in hand, so I'm glad that I was able to get that, but they also have a Witch Enchanter, which I don't like. So I will need to do something about that. I will definitely need to do something about that. So Static Prison is down. What I could do is I could cast Profane Tutor here, or suspend it at the very least, and then drop Ensnaring Bridge next turn, just take my beats. I think I'm going to do that, even though it's not the most mana efficient. I still have this construct holding the fort down, at least on the ground. Let it strand. That they played immediately, fetched immediately. Starfield Shepherd, huh? Lots of warp stuff coming in. Yep, there's the Witch Enchanter. Are they going to blow up my Saga? They are going to blow up my Saga. Okay, so Witch Enchanter is down, which means that Solitude is no longer really a problem. I mean, it wasn't really a problem before. Can I afford to... No, I can't. I really need a land. I could probably safely take 1 more chunk of hit. Let's see if I could, actually. 3, 5 from the buff from Guide of Souls next turn, then 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. That's actually Xaxes. Except Solitude would gain me life if they were able to cast it, or a construct would block a thing and I would be able to survive still. Alright, but still. Does that mean that I draw this Pyxis? I think that means I draw the Pyxis. This is very scary. It's a scary position to be in for sure. That Profane Tutor is still on suspend. There's a chance that I just let the Profane Tutor go. Yeah, I'm going to let the Profane Tutor go. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to be at a very, very low life total here. Okay, that is fine. Ocelot Pride in hand now. This Construct token has actually been doing a decent chunk of work here. Arid Mesa is down. Okay, they got a Plains on top of their deck. They're just going to hardcast a Quantum Riddler. No, they're hardcasting Solitude. Okay. This is going to gain me enough life to where I don't need to worry about this attack. I am then going to draw that Blooming Marsh. In fact, I'm going to F6 here. And then I'm going to play that Ensnaring Bridge. And then the only thing I have to worry about is the Quantum Riddler. I will not cast the suspended card. Ensnaring bridges down. Planes in hand. And that was the first wave handled. Now we need to worry about the second wave. I wonder how these stack. Yeah, this Quantum Riddler is causing a lot of problems. Quantum Riddler is warped. I don't really have a out to this except to just let them rip through half their deck here. They're gonna have a Mockingbird and a White Orchid Phantom. That is a Mockingbird for X equals 4. Ah, right. Mockingbird copying Witch Enchanter. All right, yeah, I should have seen that coming. All right, yeah, I should have seen that line. That's just embarrassing that I didn't see that, frankly. All right. Well, this deck is hard to handle. I could bring in Torpor Orbs. Torpor Orbs shut off Guide of Souls, Witch Enchanter. They shut off the Quantum Riddler's ETB, so it doesn't cycle. They shut off Solitudes, which is less relevant. They shut off White Orchid Phantoms. I think that might actually be enough for me to justify the Torpor Orbs. If I'm going to be bringing in Torpor Orbs, what am I bringing out? The Cage is dead. The Pithing Needles are dead. There's just nothing to name with Pithing Needle. Underworld Cookbook is not necessarily dead. I will want ways to deal with Quantum Riddler after it enters. I have an Assassin's Trophy in the main. This does not play red, so they're not playing Flage, which means Cling to Dust is out. Fatal Push does not hit Riddler. Toxic Deluge X equals 6 hits Riddler. But it's also a great way to just mop up a mess of 1/1s and 1/2s, right? Is that really what I want to be doing? I'm trying to look for other cuts. I don't really see other cuts. I think I'm going to bring in 1 Toxic Deluge. And I'm going to side these things out. I don't know if this is correct or not, but it's certainly what I'm going to try to do here. Okay, I would like to be on the play. Thank you very much. This is a hand that you can keep. I will keep it, actually. The shame this Bloodstained Mire isn't a Verdant Catacombs, but I already maxed out on the Verdant Catacombs. This would probably be better in this hand as the second Prismatic Vista. That's a turn 1 Ocelot Pride. Hopefully a Toxic Deluge slurps all that up. Ooh, that's interesting. A Torpor Orb off the top, huh? I would like to pay 2 life, and I'll just slam that right now. And that's going to shut off everything except for exactly Static Prison. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. At the beginning of the end step. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. And I top deck the land. Do I just Toxic Deluge for 1 right now? I think I'm going to do that. Lurp all that up. And that slowed them down just a little bit. They've got a lot of warp cards in here. Oh, the Clarion Conqueror. Look at that. Yep. That's fine, because I'm going to cast this Ensnaring Bridge. And then we're both going to play Garbage Magic for a while until you find a Static Prison. Yep, Garbage Magic time. Prismatic Vista. I think I will fire off this Stirrings first. Do I grab Lantern of Insight? I mean, I'm going to grab Lantern of Insight, but the question is, do I play it? Do I even play this Pyxis? Or do I just use Fomori Vault here? If I'm using Fomori Vault to dig, then do I want to play the Lantern of Insight? The thing that I worry about by playing Lantern of Insight is that my opponent will be able to use fetch lands to determine what cards they draw. I'm not really going to... I guess I could also do the same thing, right? Okay, I'll try it. I don't know if this is correct or not. Ooh, that is a Mockingbird. Okay, so I am in the market for... Well, I don't care about that. I am in the market for a Toxic Deluge. And I will certainly be keeping that Fomori Vault now that I know they have White Orchid Phantom on top of their library. And I think I also want that Inquisition. Yeah, I'm glad I played out the Lantern. White Orchid Phantom. When it enters... Oh, when it enters. Right. Okay, I think I want the Inquisition, so I'm not going to spin this Pyxis away. Wow, that is a Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, I'm very glad that I Inquisitioned them. That is a Mockingbird and 2 Felias. And now I have Fomori Vault going and they don't. Laid out the Flooded Strand. They are going to cast their warped thing. Nope, they're just going to play another Clarion Conqueror. Okay, that's fine. I am going to fetch a basic with this Prismatic Vista. I think I will grab the basic Forest. And I'm going to spin to win. And this is why we include Fomori Vault in our decks. Do I want the Assassin's Trophy? Do I want the Inquisition? What do I fear here? I am afeared of Static Prison specifically. I will take the Assassin's Trophy. I'm going to ask this Thoughtseize. Actually, what did I side in again? I sided in no more Assassin's Trophies, no creature removal, but I did side in exactly 1 Toxic Deluge. All right, that means that I might actually be locked out of the game now. Dang, that actually means I might be locked out of the game. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna take one of your Felias. Oh, I could dig for additional ensnaring bridges. That might work. Do I care about this? No. Don't think I care about that. Ooh, I care about that. I definitely care about that. I think I will Assassin's Trophy one of their lands. Do I Assassin's Trophy one of their lands? That would hit Torpor Orb and Ensnaring Bridge. Surely they have other things in here, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to Assassin's Trophy one of their lands. Yeah, this is not looking particularly good for me. I should have sided in additional removal. They're going to allow the destruction to take place. They are going to shuffle. That is a White Orchid Phantom. All right. Yeah, I sideboarded incorrectly, I think. I don't know if I have outs here. Ephemerate. I think their White Orchid Phantom is not out. Yeah, they're just casting that from exile here. I'm going to spin this. Finding another Torpor Orb. Yeah, I'll take that. And we both have the same library sizes here, but my opponent will draw first. Arid Mesa is down. I've got the Mishra's Bauble, which I will play. Do I spin to win here? I don't think so. Mockingbird. They're just going to cast that immediately. Okay, that's fine. Making yet another Clarion Conqueror. Really wishing that I had that second Toxic Deluge that I would be digging towards. That would be really, really nice right now, wouldn't it? Gonna go ahead and play out this Pyxis. Keep my hand low enough. Witch Enchanter is in their hand. Right. Oh, this is not optional. Draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. That's not optional. How interesting. Yeah, I think I'm just going to continue drawing cards here. I'm going to hold on to this Inquisition. I'm going to fire off the Inquisition now because I have a Thoughtseize on top of my deck. White Orchid Phantom, Ephemerate. I guess I'll take that. Oh, wait. Yep, Clarion Conqueror. And that is what I'm afraid of. So now I need to dig for an Ensnaring Bridge. And if I don't hit one here, then I die, right? That is an Ancient Stirrings. All right. Ancient Stirrings can still hit Ensnaring Bridge. And it just has to hit. Just has to blind hit here. And it did blind hit. That's fantastic. Okay, so now I'm insulated against Static Prison. They've still got a Static Prison something, right? They could hit a Lantern of Insight here. Nope, they're going to hit an Ensnaring Bridge. All right, that's fine. Flooded Strand is in their hand. I'm going to play this land out. Static Prison is down. They'll be drawing that Flooded Strand if they don't fetch here. And it looks like my opponent may be aware of the deck sizes at this point. Yeah, that's a Wrath of the Skies. And I just have no out to that. Oh, but that Wrath of the Skies kills their entire board if they use it on X equals 3, right? This is very interesting. Let's see what happens. And because of their Static Prison in play, oh, they're choosing to keep the Static Prison. So that means if they fire off Wrath of the Skies for X equals 3 right now, then what's going to happen is I am going to lose my entire board. They're going to lose their entire board with the exception of exactly Witch Enchanter. Then Static Prison will be removed, and then Ensnaring Bridge will come back. So let's see how they decide to use this. And because I kept that discard spell in my hand, if they don't use that Wrath of the Skies right now, they lose it. They are doing X equals 3, so they're gaining 3 energy, but are they paying 3 energy? Let's find out. They only did 2. Looks like they might be trying to use that Ephemerate on top of their deck. Maybe I should have spun this Thoughtseize with the Fomori Vault, huh? Wrath of the Skies is down. They have an Ephemerate on top of their deck, which means that Witch Enchanter can blow up 2 things, and their Clarion Conquerors are still active. Yeah, I think I should have spun Thoughtseize while I had a chance. Although I'm not really sure what I would... Oh, I would be looking for another Torpor Orb. That's what I would be looking for. All right, yeah. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I should have spun this Thoughtseize earlier. Oh, that's a 3rd Ensnaring Bridge. All right, yeah, we'll take those. Okay, and I will suspend this Profane Tutor, and I will play out a 3rd Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, that's a White Orchid Phantom. I don't know why it says activated abilities can't be activated on all of their creatures. They're going to blow up one of my Fomori Vaults. I am going to decline, actually. That is Ophelia. I don't care about that. I genuinely don't know what outs I'm digging for right now. Do I play this land? No, I think I'll hold the land just in case. It's a real shame. If I just had a second... if I just had a second Toxic Deluge in my deck, then I would be fine right now. They did empty their hand here. They're going to start chewing through my Ensnaring Bridges. And if I hadn't found that 3rd Ensnaring Bridge, this would just be GG right now. Okay, they're going to gain a life. And I don't know what they put in hand. Or what they drew for turn, I mean. Oh boy, yeah, I'm not going to spend a win here. I am going to cast this Profane Tutor. Just seeing if I have any outs to this. How many Wrath of the Skies are in their graveyard right now? 2? Huh. What do I put into my hand? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not even sure why I'm still playing this. I could grab a Torpor Orb, which would shut down their Ephemerates and future Witch Enchanters. I could grab an Ensnaring Bridge, which would shut down exactly an additional Static Prison. I could grab the Mycosynth Gardens, which is just the same as grabbing the 4th Bridge. I think I'm going to grab the Torpor Orb. And of course, I just completely die if they draw a Wrath of the Skies. So I guess I'm counting on them both figuring out that they need to not be gaining life to trigger their Helias at the end of the turn. And they shouldn't have another Wrath of the Skies in their deck. That's quite a lot of things to get right here. Go right for me. I don't think it's going to work out that way in practice. I'm down 2 cards on my deck right now. Well, they've done something. Do they have 3rd Wrath of the Skies? Just... Wow, just like that, huh? Do I spin to win? I don't think I'm going to spin the win. That was just to get rid of the Torpor Orb. I believe that is all 3 Torpor Orbs down. 1, 2, 3. Yes, all 3 down. I think I'm going to just wrap up the game. I don't think there's any point in playing this any longer. If I had a second Toxic Deluge in my deck somewhere, anywhere, then I would have been fine. I would have just slurped up all of their Clarion Conquerors, and I would have just used the Lantern Lock like normal. But I did not sideboard correctly for this matchup. I am going to have to adjust that next time going forward. I think that Torpor Orb was very good, but I think that I needed to bring in additional removal. Maybe in place of, I don't know, like a Mishra's Bauble, I guess? I don't know. This is pilot error. I don't think that it would have been nearly as hard if I had been a little bit more experienced with playing against this deck. Oh well, let's go ahead and move on to round 2. I hope you're enjoying the video. If you like watching my particular style of content, consider subscribing so you can get notified of my videos and live streams. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we have started round 2 versus Peanut Butter. I will be on the play versus Peanut Butter. With this hand, what does this hand do? This one does Bobble, optional fetch. I don't want to play Stirrings on 1. I might have to play Stirrings on 1. I think I will keep it. It's got turn 2 Profane Tutor, turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. And I am going to cast this Bobble on myself. Kind of want that. In that case, I'm going to play out this Verdant Catacombs and I'm going to do nothing with it. It's not perfectly mana efficient, but I think it's okay. That's a Glimmer Void. Tapping for blue. I see what we're doing. I see what we're doing. All right. We're doing some shenanigans is what we're doing. Oh, that's a lot of shenanigans. That's a lot of shenanigans. They now have 5 power in play on turn 1, and it's all in 1/1s, which is actually really difficult for me to deal with. So I am going to fetch a Shockland here, and I'm going to put it into play tapped. I'm going to... I think I'm going to Stirrings. Yeah, I will Stirrings. Against a deck like this, oh, the Underworld Cookbook is a really good pickup here. I think I'm going to take that over literally everything. And I'm going to check their hand. Oh, there we go. A Time Sieve. That's very interesting. And yeah, it's kind of as I expected. Their hand doesn't do anything beyond that initial vomiting. But that Time Sieve is very good information to have. Those warped creatures. Oh my god, a Thought Cast off the top, really? Just like that. Those warped creatures are going to be possibly a problem later on. Oh my god, directly into Thought Monitor. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's a way to get around a discard spell. Just top deck a draw 3 that leaves a body in play. Into an Urza Saga, huh? Oh, that's terrifying. Into a Lava Spur Boots. That's double terrifying. Okay, Bridge needs to go down next turn. Unless I'm willing to throw my Pithing Needle on either Urza Saga or Lava Spur Boots. Let's see what happens. That's another Inquisition. Here's what I could do. I could Inquisition my opponent again, and then I could drop Needle on Saga and then Cookbook, discard the Profane Tutor, take the hit for 7, and then next turn discard whatever I draw, play out my Ensnaring Bridge, and then we just sit and stare at each other for a while until something happens. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. That is a Shadow Spear. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. Pithing Needle on Urza Saga. And then the Underworld Cookbook. And regrettably, I will have to discard this Profane Tutor at end of turn. Yeah, they're just going to play that out. They're playing out the Silver Bluff Bridge. I'm going to take 7 here. And then I'm going to have to start discarding cards. And this is why I took that Underworld Cookbook, is because I knew I would be in this exact situation. Whatever I play here, okay, it's a land. Lands are acceptable. Ensnaring Bridge, go. Now they could still have something disgusting here. I don't know what. Maybe something like a Goblin Bombardment? The fact is, I need to get a lock in place, and I need my top decks to be very nice to me here in order to do that. Oh, these have flying on top of everything. Claws of Gix. Oh, it's makeshift munitions. They have a makeshift munitions in their deck, which is a triggered ability that I cannot really do anything about. I will play out this Mishra's Bauble, and I will hit them on their upkeep with it. I have a Underworld Cookbook that will allow me to discard a land if I happen to top deck 2 lands with this Mishra's Bauble here. But I really want to get the information on what they're drawing. Also, okay, Thought Monitor is their draw. Both Silver Bluff Bridges are down. They have a Thought Monitor in hand that I can't imagine they would hold any longer. That's right, they're just going to draw 2 here. The fact is, they're ripping through their deck and I am not. Ah, that's a Sink into Stupor. Do I just concede to that? 4, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, I concede to that. All right, yep. Wow, that was interesting, wasn't it? I feel quite a bit better about this matchup than the blue-white energy one, though. All right, so what do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? What are bad cards? Cling to Dust, bad. Grafdigger's Cage, bad. Assassin's Trophy, not as bad. I think I'm gonna keep that in. I believe I will bring in either Duresses or Fatal Pushes or Toxic Deluges. What do I want to bring in? Does this deck have a way to beat a Resolved Ensnaring Bridge if I have the lockdown? I don't think so. Outside of like random crappers like Sink into Stupor, I think the vast majority of their deck is just Thoughtcasts and such. I think I'm more interested in beating them in their hand than beating them on the board. If that's the case, then I will bring in the Duresses. Pithing Needles are likely going to be relevant in some way, so I'm going to keep those in, and I will run that back like this. I don't know if this is correct or not, but it's what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing here. Casually getting destroyed in the leagues by all these new Edge of Eternities cards. Okay, we are on the play. I can rip their hand apart and not do much else. This hand gets much better if I draw a land. Do I really want to keep this? Do I really want to keep this? I think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna keep it. And the reason for that is that it has a Codex Shredder in it. This Urza Saga can pop and find a Lantern of Insight. I will dock this in on the off chance that I find an Ancient Stirrings and I need to hit a land drop with it, I think. And I will lead on a Thoughtseize in case it's a Thoughtcast that I need to take. This is an interesting hand. This is an interesting hand. What happens if I take the Welding Jar out of this hand? If I take the Welding Jar out of this hand, then that means that they cannot turn 1 Urza Saga, right? Because they would go turn 1 Urza Saga, Mox Opal. I don't think they can turn 1 Urza Saga anyway unless they draw another 0 or a 1-drop artifact. So I think taking Welding Jar might actually be a little bit too risky here. I think I'm going to take the Thoughtcast. And then next turn I can take the Consign. And then will be an Urza Saga battle, perhaps. One that I will hopefully be able to get the first construct in. Yeah, they're just playing Silver Bluff Bridge, Mox Opal, Welding Jar. That turns on their Opal and allows them to hold open Consign. That is an additional discard spell. I didn't really want to see that. I will Inquisition them. Consign, Sink, Saga, Mox. Do I take the Sink here? I think I'll take the Sink. And then I will play an Urza Saga, see if they consign the trigger on this. They're probably not going to, right? And then I think I will actually play out a Shredder here. They let that go too. Okay, your go. I had entirely too much discard here. I'm not going to fuel their graveyard with Codex Shredder. Really hoping I hit a land. That's a land. All right, that's great. Urza Saga is down. They've drawn 2 cards that I don't know what they are. That's one of the cards that I didn't know what it was. Their constructs are going to be larger than mine, but I'm going to have more of them because I could grab a Pithing Needle with this Urza Saga. Oh, am I going to grab a Pithing Needle with this Urza Saga, or am I just going to play another one and establish the Lantern Lock here? That's very interesting. They have to make a construct here, right? They're doing something else. Oh, they're going to consign. They're consigning my Chapter 3 ability. I feel like that might just be disrespecting the clock that I can put down here. I'm going to create the construct. I'm going to play an Urza Saga. I am going to use it to cast an Underworld Cookbook. I am going to Underworld Cookbook, discard an Inquisition, and I'm going to hit them for 5. And now they get 1 construct. They are going to create 1. It's a 5/5, so it's already pretty big. They can regenerate it with the Welding Jar, but that would cause its PT to be lowered by 1 point. That being said, this is going to be 6/6 at minimum here. I can't imagine that they've drawn Stone Cold nothing, right? Do they grab a Shadow Spear here? Try to gain some life? Try to stall the board? No, they're going to go aggro because they have another Urza Saga. All right, that's fine. Unfortunately, unless they have some other way of interacting here, I don't think that's good enough. I think I can just kill them, right? Because I create a construct. Oh, I would need to draw a 0 or drop artifact in order to do that. That's very interesting. And I didn't. That's very interesting. Yeah, I can't kill them here. I can swing in with a single construct comfortably, I think. Do I want to do that? If I swing in with a construct here, then that would mean these two are on chumping duty, because I'm at 7. I could bring them up to 7/7s. Is that big enough? They would need to not have a 0 drop or a 1 drop. I don't think I can risk that. I think I might be on the defensive here. Am I trying to find an ensnaring bridge? Wow, it's pretty insane that these sagas just weren't enough. I could attempt to clear the board. I think I'm going to leave everything back and then grab a pithing needle on this Urza Saga. Might have to do that. I didn't have the opportunity to grab that pithing needle because of the consign to memory from earlier. I think I'm just going to leave everything back. This was very interesting, though. Double Urza Saga versus double Urza Saga. And if I top deck an ensnaring bridge, then I'm in pretty good shape. I don't know, though. I'm not feeling very good about this. I need to remember to not forget to activate the Underworld Cookbook here, too. What an interesting game, though. My opponent is into tank. They're really thinking about this. If they have a line, then it's going to be a very tight line. Let me think about what happens if they have Stone Cold Nothing and they just activate Saga, moved their Lava Spur Boots onto the construct. If that happens, then they have a 7/7 and an 8/7 that are attacking in. If that's the case, then I can cleanly trade with both constructs. And it looks like that might be what they're doing. I'm really glad that I didn't swing in. Ooh, that is a Springleaf Drum. They're doing some shenanigans here. I can no longer cleanly trade with both. I'm gonna have to trade 2 of my constructs for 1 of theirs. Wow, that Springleaf Drum was a really good rip. I'm going to remember to do this now. And here's what I'm going to do. Block, and block, and block. Really wishing that I had an additional food instead of this Thoughtseize. Alright, now I am the only one with a construct. I can create 1 additional construct here. Oh, right! Because their constructs, their power toughness for this one lowered when I killed this one. Right. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm now going to grab... Do I grab a Lantern of Insight here, or do I grab a Pithing Needle for their Urza Saga and put them in a really, really bad spot? That's a really good question, actually. Do I Pithing Needle their Urza Saga so they cannot create a construct? If I do that, then that means that the top of their deck would have to be extraordinarily kind to them. I don't think I should do that. I think I should grab a Lantern. What do I do here? If I had a Lava Spur Boots, I'd just kill them, right? It's highly unlikely that they would be able to kill me from this position, even with the Lava Spur Boots in play. I could grab Pithing Needle and name Lava Spur Boots. That would accomplish almost nothing, right? I think Lantern of Insight might be the coward's move. I think I'm going to Pithing Needle them. I'm going to Pithing Needle the Urza Saga. I'm going to play this for Mori Vault. And I am going to swing. I am going to activate this. I'm going to create a food. They're going to be at 8. They are at 7. They are at 7. They cannot create an Urza Saga construct. And they're facing lethal 2 separate ways. They need to answer both of these construct tokens in order to have a shot here. I don't know what's going to happen. This is the best I can do, I think. Yeah, they grabbed an Ornithopter. They equipped Ornithopter with Lava Spur Boots. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. Why are they doing that? Why was putting me at 6 important? That's a Memnite? That's a time sieve? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. They just sacked their whole board to take an extra turn. They're hoping to top deck something fantastic here. Wow, what a line. That is a line that you could do. That is a legal set of game actions that they were allowed to take. That is really interesting. Let's see if it actually does anything here. Nope, it didn't do anything, but that was really cool. Okay, well, Double Urza Saga ended up getting there eventually. So I still think that this is correct, though. I think I just need to drop Bridge and protect it. That was just absolutely bonkers wild, though. Yeah, this hand's garbage. Can't keep this. I'm gonna mulligan it. This hand is much better. I will keep. And we have seen how good Cookbook is in both of these games. That being said, is Cookbook going to be good in this hand? Is Cookbook going to be good in this hand? I think I'm not going to have much of a trouble dumping my hand. I think I'm going to have trouble finding and sticking an ensnaring bridge. I'm going to bottom the Cookbook here, and I'm going to keep double Pyxis in case I find a lantern and need to dig for a bridge. Oh yeah, tapped in Silver Bluff Bridge on turn 1. We love to see those. Okay, Blooming Marsh, Pyxis, Mishra's Bauble. What am I looking for? I am looking for... Not that. That's not fun. That's not fun. That's not fun. I don't like that. I don't like that. Do I want another Mishra's Bauble? Do I want another Mishra's Bauble, which is on top of my deck right now? Do I actually want that? Sure, I'll take it, whatever. Okay. That's another land. I don't know how much I wanted that. Okay. Top of my deck is a swamp. I do not want that swamp. Do I want Urza Saga here? I don't think I would... I don't know. I think Urza Saga would actually be bad. I'm already land flooded. Look at all of these lands I have. I'm going to fetch a basic swamp here. I'm going to Stirrings. And I'm going to find an ensnaring bridge. And then I'm going to drop this Pyxis. I am looking for Lantern of Insight and a discard spell. That's perfect. My opponent has 5 cards in hand. If they find a Claws of Gix, then I'm in bad shape, actually. Darksteel Citadel, Springleaf Drum. Is this a Kappa Cannoneer? The Kappa Cannoneer, right? Yeah, it's a Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, that's fine. I have the Thoughtseize for that. Not the Thoughtseize, I have the bridge for that. Do I take the hit from Kappa Cannoneer in order to cast this Thoughtseize, though? I don't know. That's a pretty big hit. That's a pretty big hit. I could just die. I could just die. So there's 10 on board. If my opponent has artifact, artifact, artifact in hand and artifact on top of their deck, then that means that I would be falling to 17 from Thoughtseize. Kappa Cannoneer would be dealing... It's 8 now. 3 artifacts would be 6 triggers, which would mean it would go up to 14. Thought Monitor would be at 16. I would be falling to 17. Ugh, I don't like the math on that. If I Blooming Marsh, Ensnaring Bridge, and they have a sink into Stupor, then they just sink my bridge, and then I just take the hit, and then we just repeat the same turn, except I'm at 3 with a Thoughtseize in hand. I think that might be okay. I think the risk for that might be okay. Let's just hope that they didn't draw a Claws of Gix here. Claws of Gix would... Claws of Gix would not kill me outright quite yet, but it would get very, very close. I'm really hoping to hit a Lantern of Insight off this Ensnaring Bridge. Lantern of Insight off this Ancient Stirrings, I mean. Okay, that is just more munitions. That Urza Saga will eventually grab a Claws of Gix, right? That's a Mox Opal. Okay, so yeah, it was pretty much the worst case scenario here. Ugh. I'm glad that I did that. So I really need a Pithing Needle for Claws of Gix specifically. They're swinging in for 2. All right, Pithing Needle, come on. Oh, they're looking at the top card of my deck. They will know what this is. I don't think I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, let's go. Glad I didn't get rid of that. Oh, that's a Pithing Needle on top of theirs, though. Yeah, I don't want you having that. Profane Tutor. I think I will Ancient Stirrings here. I'm going to grab Codex Shredder. Any order. There's another Ensnaring Bridge. I will play out my Codex Shredder here. Okay, so they're going to have Ornithopter in hand and Spire of Industry. Spire of Industry's down, Ornithopter's down. And I am digging for Pithing Needle right now, actually. So I'm going to activate this Pyxis. I am going to use this. What happens if I don't find Pithing Needle? They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10... 12, 14, 16, 18. That's lethal, actually. So I need Pithing Needle right now. I am going to mill myself. That's an Ancient Stirrings. That is a Pyxis on top of my deck. I don't think I can mess around. I think I really need to find this Pithing Needle right now. At risk of leaving a good card on top of their deck. There it is. Okay. Pithing Needle is down. Claws of Gix. Okay. I am feeling in a much better position now. I have 10 munitions in play. They're going to create that token. Okay, mate, do your worst. Now, I did quite a bit of searching off of whatever it's called, Scryfall, when Weapons Munition came out. I do not believe that there is another way that you can sacrifice munitions tokens off of a Urza Saga pop. I looked. It was specifically Claws of Gix, if my memory serves me correctly. Oh, they're going in with the Ornithopter. They're gonna swing for 1 here. Okay, yeah, that's a thing you could do. I'm going to mill you, see what happens. Claws of Gix. Wow, look at that. Okay, this game is won. I just need to mill them out in 6 minutes. And I'm going to start on that now. Emery would be terrible, actually, right? Yeah, Emery would be terrible. You can't have an Emery. Okay, Profane Tutor is a good draw. Urza Saga, as we've seen before, is completely harmless now. I don't think I want them having that Time Sieve. They just have so many things. They could use that to convert it into a lot of cards. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Gonna go ahead and cast this Thoughtseize on myself. And this is wrapped up, I think. That Ancient Stirrings coming in clutch, and me just aggressively milling towards that Pithing Needle helped out quite a bit here, too. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to just continue to mill you out. I will find something good off this Profane Tutor now. I need... Codex Shredders are gone, so I'm gonna have to get a Pyxis here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they failed to find on their Urza Saga. They're trying to keep their deck up. Save targets on this Codex Shredder. Ooh, that doesn't have an activated ability. That's my Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, upkeep. I will Pyxis. Yeah, that's fine. They have 18 cards in deck. I have 4 minutes on my clock. I think I'll be okay. I am not even going to bother casting this Ancient Stirrings. Ensnaring Bridge gaining a ton of life every turn. Look at that. Gaining 100 life off of that Ensnaring Bridge? Wow, what an incredible deal. Maybe life gain does actually win games, huh? Well, there goes all your thought monitors. That's fine. Yeah, done. I don't need to be worried about that. I should probably be emptying this Ancient Stirrings out of my hand now that I think about it. Because these Pinnacle Emissaries create 1/1s. I mean, they can't give all their Pinnacle Emissary tokens haste anyway, so I don't need to worry about it too much, but still. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and take those cards. Goodbye, cards. Love to see you, cards. Pinnacle Emissary, such a good card. Galaxy Forter on this is really cool. Seems like a fantastic deck. Just a shame that it gets shut down by Ensnaring Bridge and Pithing Needle and, you know, all these other random piddly nerds that I have in play. I think I will exile one more time. I'll exile one more time. I'll take that. You're going to get one more draw this game, and that's going to be that Mox Opal. Hey, look at that. I have a Mox Opal too. What a coinkydink. Okay. Mox Opal is your last draw. Am I going to extend their suffering? No, I think I will simply win the game. I could extend their suffering by only using Codex Shredders, or I could even just not mill them, and we could just draw the last 4 cards of our deck naturally over the course of the next 4 turns. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to win the game. Nice winning games sometimes, you know? I like winning games. Do you like winning games? I like winning games. I like winning games with Lantern Control specifically, which is why I play it so damn much. Oh no, there's a Mem Knight on top of your deck. Whatever am I going to do? There's a on top of your deck. Whatever am I going to do? I'm just gonna F6 through my turn. And F6 through your turn. And I win the match. Wow, that was really interesting, actually. So, game 1 just... game 1. That was fun. Game 2, having that Urza Saga construct back and forth, where I had a Saga, and then they had a Saga, and then I had another one, and then they had another one. That was a lot of fun. I don't get to play that sort of Magic very often because of my deck choice. But when you have to sit down and really think about the nitty-gritty of, like, am I going to attack here? Am I going to block? It's a rare treat to have when playing Lantern Control. And this one, you just solve the puzzle. It's just standard Lantern stuff. Just solve the puzzle, get the Ensnaring Bridge in play, find the Claws of Gix Pithing Needle thing, and then mill them out. All right, on to round 3. Really like that match.
Has your loss to Lantern Control left you bitter and despondent? Try working through the 5 stages of grief by joining the Fateseal MTG Patreon. Languish in denial with my $2 tier and get access to my Discord community and your name in my video credits. You'll gain more perks as your grief matures, like tournament live streams, lessons on Lantern Control, and office hours with me. Once you reach acceptance, every month you'll get a private session with me and can even feature your own deck here on Fateseal MTG.
All right, I am on the play for round 3 versus Weedland. Oh, this hand is terrible. I can't keep it, even on the strength of 2 Urza Sagas. I'm gonna mulligan this. This is a much better hand. Mishra's Bauble currently does not have any sort of synergy with this hand, so I will be bottoming the Bauble. And this is turn 1 Inquisition. What do you play? Ugh. Ugh. Say it again with me, chat. Ugh. All right. Enough of that. Pithing Needle on Flooded Strand would be goated. I think I'm going to take the Bombardment. And then I'm going to chew through these Ajanis. Oh, that's just a top deck Ensnaring Bridge. We take those. Do I play Forest, play Ancient Stirrings, hope to hit a lock piece, and then Inquisition? Do I play Ancient Stirrings off of Blooming Marsh, try to find an Urza Saga, and then if I don't, play Forest into whatever lock piece I find? These are the questions that you should be asking yourselves. They have double Ajani in hand. They didn't have a turn 1 play. That tells me that they either drew a land, or they drew interaction, or they drew another 2-drop. Do I try to get on the board? I could Ancient Stirrings off of Forest. If I hit Saga, just accept that I'm not playing Saga. And then I could Inquisition them if I don't find anything good. I think I'm going to do that. The chances that I hit a Saga off this Inquisition or off the Stirrings are like 1 in 3. Of course, there's the Urza Saga. Of course, there's the Urza Saga. Do I actually want it? Do I want Pyxis? I think Urza Saga is a fine pickup. That was very funny, though. All right, now I'll Inquisition you. Wow, they just had a Guide of Souls and just chose not to play it. That's very interesting. I will, in fact, take your Guide of Souls. I suppose they just really wanted the Surveil off this Flooded Strand. They knew that they didn't draw a land here. Voice of Victory to the Graveyard. They are in top deck mode right now. They hit the land. Okay. Ajani Nakata Pariah is down. Now, one of the downsides to doing it the way that I did is that I will not be able to get a Pithing Needle for Ajani for another 2 turns. That is a non-negligible downside. I just wasn't expecting to high roll on that Ancient Stirrings, you know? Destroy target enchantment? That's fine. All right, now I'm kind of glad that I didn't do it that way. Okay, Starrings, find me something else good, please. Double Urza's Saga. Yeah, I'll take another Urza's Saga, that's fine. Arid Mesa, that means that they can Ajani here. They can tick up Ajani. Oh, they drew another Thraben Charm, huh? Wow, that's really good. Okay, yeah, we'll... Wow. Yeah, sure, you can do that. Now I need to answer these Ajanis somehow. I still know every single card in their hand. Oh, wow, just all 4 Urza Sagas in the top, what, 15 cards of my deck, something like that? That's wild. Do you have 3rd Thraben Charm? But what about 3rd Thraben Charm, everybody? They kept it on top. It's 3rd Thraben Charm. Watch this. 3rd Thraben Charm for 3rd Urza Saga. Oh, it's just Dashing Ragavan. I'm gonna fall to 9. I think what they could do here is they could Galvanic Discharge their cat token. Flip a Johnny. Oh, they're just gonna do that. What did they even hit off of Ragavan? They hit an Inquisition. Yeah, that wouldn't have been any good. And now they can 0 and deal me some damage. And now I just seriously need to find a Pithing Needle. Yeah, I think they're going to win this because of that. That's a Pyxis. It's not a Pithing Needle. I can play the Mycosynth Gardens into a... Do I play Pyxis? I will play Pyxis off of Forest. And then they can just Flage me and kill me. Let's see if they see the line. Oh, they didn't need to see the line. They just had Goblin Bombardment. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Yep. That's what happens when you get tempoed out, I suppose. Double Thraben Charm into double Urza Saga really did hold the fort down in that game, I think. If I just had one of those Urza Sagas pop, I think I would have been okay. But we did not, so we lost. I lost, actually. I did not win. So let's go ahead and begin sideboarding against them. The sideboard guide that I made says to side out 1 Grafdigger's Cage and 1 Thoughtseize and bring in 2 Toxic Deluges. How am I feeling about that? Do I really want to do that? 2 Toxic Deluges in, and it was Cage out and Thoughtseize out. Toxic Deluge is a fantastic way to deal with Clarion Conqueror, which I know that they're going to have. I still want to have a decent amount of interaction of hand disruption specifically, but I don't want lots of Thoughtseizes. Dreams of Steel and Oil would be really good in this matchup, except that it can't hit Static Prison. Do I side out a Cling to Dust and bring in an Assassin's Trophy? Cling to Dust is there to help with Flage. I don't know. I think that I lost that game without Flage ever being cast, so I think I'm going to be okay siding out Cling to Dust that is very specifically against Flage. This is a hand. This is a hand that I could choose to keep. I could choose to keep this hand. What happens if I choose to keep this hand? I need to top deck a land, or I am in dire straits. But this hand does have a game plan. It is turn 1, Saga into Lantern, and then turn 2, Opal, Pyxis, Inquisition. And then hopefully I find a land somewhere in there. I have the Lantern Lock. I'm going to keep this. This is an extraordinarily risky hand to keep. Let it be known that this hand is extraordinarily risky to keep. I almost prefer that I was on the draw with this hand, because that means that instead of playing Pyxis on turn 2, I could play Pithing Needle on turn 2. But if I draw a land, I could still play out all of this stuff, and then I could Inquisition, and then I could use the info from Inquisition to Pithing Needle. This hand is terrifying. That is a Toxic Deluge on top of my deck that I am not going to be able to cast right away. Okay, they have an Arid Mesa in hand. They don't have an Arid Mesa in hand. They're fetching with their Arid Mesa that they don't have in hand. They grabbed a Plains, and I just have a free Pithing Needle target right here. This will depend on if I choose to activate Pyxis on my main phase. Oh, that hurts. I think that's game right there. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt a lot. And this is another one of the bad parts of this hand. I think I have to shuffle away this Toxic Deluge right now. I need a land drop right now. Okay, I got one. I'm going to Inquisition them, see what's going on. They have a Goblin Bombardment on top of their deck here. I'm not worried about Blood Moon. Am I worried about Guide of Souls right now? I don't think so. Guide of Souls as is just a 1/2, and I know that they're drawing a Goblin Bombardment. I might actually take the Spyro here. I think I'm going to take the Spyro. And then if I die to that Guide of Souls, then you get to say I told you so in the comments. Where is the Guide of Souls? It's there. Spyro's gone. Do I play out the Mox Opal? I don't think I play out the Mox Opal. I think I'm going to hold that Mox Opal. That is an Arena of Glory into Guide of Souls. I think I'm going to hope that they... oh, that is an Urza Saga. That would actually incentivize them to play out Blood Moon next turn. Because if they play out Blood Moon next turn, then that means that Urza Saga never hits 2, and I never get to the point where I can make infinite constructs. I will play out Pyxis. I will play out Pithing Needle. And I will choose Goblin Bombardment. Now the question here is, do I play out Mox Opal as well? Do I want to incentivize my opponent to continue to burn time? Or do I want to incentivize my opponent to do something else and get those Urza Saga constructs? It's kind of a crapshoot, isn't it? If I get Blood Mooned, then next turn I drop Ensnaring Bridge. If I don't get Blood Mooned and they play out another threat, then my constructs are just going to be 5/5s. 4/4s to start with. Make another construct, it's 5/5, then you get a Lantern and it's a 6/6. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? I think I will... I don't know. I'm burning a lot of time here. I think I'm going to play conservatively, and I'm going to encourage them to drop the Blood Moon. I think they might just drop the Blood Moon regardless. There's an Arid Mesa. Yeah, there's no way on Earth that they're not playing that Blood Moon right now. Thank goodness for Final Fantasy and their rules changes. Oh, that's a Toxic Deluge. Yeah, that's fine. All right, Ensnaring Bridge. Get down. That's just another creature that gets to be slurped up by this Toxic Deluge that I have in hand. That is a Goblin Bombardment that is completely dead. Blood Moon's not in their hand anymore. They only have 1 energy. Do I want to... I'm going to activate this Pyxis for fun. Do I want to slurp up their stuff now? Or do I want to hold this Toxic Deluge for a potential Clarion Conqueror? Let's decide when I draw my card. That is an Assassin's Trophy that I can't cast because of Blood Moon. I think I will go ahead and Toxic Deluge now. For the correct amount this time. All right, your go. That is an Ajani Nakata Pariah. Would love a basic swamp right now. Ooh, Lantern. Yeah, we take those. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, huh? I don't think I want my opponent drawing that. Just gonna hope that there's nothing terrible underneath of it. That's not ideal. I think I have to let them draw it. They can use that Thraben Charm on their own Cat Warrior token and start ticking up their Ajani. Oh, they're just using it on my Urza Saga. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that. I'm gonna start taking 1 a turn from this. Ooh, that is a basic forest. I pretty badly want that. I'm just going to wait. Let it strand. Is a mountain. I wonder what they have in hand. Oh, it's a Spyro, huh? Okay, so they're going to use that Spyro now. They're going to draw a Sacred Foundry and an Arena of Glory. That's fine. I am going to take 1 from this Ajani. I'm going to fall to 14. I am going to cast Assassin's Trophy off this basic forest that's on top of my deck. Hooray for basic lands. I'm going to allow them to draw the Thraben Charm. Do I allow them to draw the Thraben Charm? What happens if I allow them to draw the Thraben Charm? Ooh, I have another Assassin's Trophy on top of my deck. That's very interesting. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to Assassin's Trophy their Ajani now. They will get to search for a basic land. The top card of their deck will change. When that happens, I'll be able to decide if I want this second Assassin's Trophy. I don't want them using this Thraben Charm to flip their Ajani. Oh, that's just an Arid Mesa. Okay, that's fine. And I gotta get rid of that Clarion Conqueror, right? So I'm going to exile with Pyxis here. I'm going to draw this Verdant Catacombs. Okay, we're holding tight. We're holding tight. Their hand is irrelevant at this point. I don't want them having that Spyro, so I'm not going to let them have it. Do I care about Flage? I don't think I care about Flage at this stage of the game. I'll just let them have it. So they have a Flage in hand. They don't have a Flage in hand. And I think I will bobble right now so that I can draw the Ensnaring Bridge and whatever's underneath of it. Just get a little bit of additional velocity here. There's nothing that I could draw that would cause problems for me as far as keeping my hand empty. So I think that's fine. Elegant Parlor on top of their deck. That is another Flage. I don't know. I can take a lot of hits from Flage, but I don't know if I want to take that many hits from Flage, you know? It's gonna deal 3 to me. I don't necessarily want to draw this Thoughtseize either. I think I will Pyxis. Ajani on top of their deck. I'm gonna draw this Ancient Stirring, see if I can find another way to deal with that. I found a Codex Shredder, and there's an Ensnaring Bridge on top of mine. I think I will shred them here. And that is a Wear Tear. They have the Goblin Bombardment in play. I cannot allow them to draw that Wear Tear. That's a Ragavan. Okay, that's fine. Jay is correct. They could use Second Flage to Legend Rule and recast Flages from the graveyard basically as many times as they like. But keep in mind that they have to have a stocked graveyard in order to do that. Their graveyard currently has 3 cards in it. And with my build having 4 Pyxis and 2 Shredders, which is not what we're seeing on the top of my deck right now, unfortunately, but still, then there is the option to simply keep their graveyard empty with Pyxis. Like here, Thraben Charm can kill Flage, they can re-escape it, but that's not really good enough, right? So I'm just going to let them have that. I'm going to continue to build out my lock. That way I'm not scrambling in case there's something bad underneath this Thraben Charm. I just wanted that Codex Shredder. Yeah, see, I didn't want them drawing that Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Now they can Thraben Charm their Flage, but they can't even escape it. Well, they can escape it once, maybe. And I'm not even bothering to update their hand because their hand's mostly lands and Thraben Charm, I think. Yeah, I want this Pyxis, so I will go ahead and draw that. And I believe I will start exiling everyone's decks here. I'm not going to activate Shredders because I don't want to fill their hand, fill their graveyard unnecessarily. Third Ensnaring Bridge is fine. Goblin Bombardment is okay. There's already one in play. I have it needled. And we're just gonna do this for a while. This is what you came to watch, right? Oh, Blood Moon. What a terrible card to have in your hand. Okay. So it looks like my opponent has kept their Static Prisons, of course. They kept in their Thraben Charms. It looks like specifically for Urza's Saga. Maybe they saw how good it was in the first game. Yeah, they go ahead and killed their own Flage here. They've got enough stuff in their graveyard to where they can escape it. And they brought in Wear Tears. Like, see, they have that Thraben Charm, and that's gonna essentially be an additional 3 damage to me. But not only do they not have a repeatable way of getting this Flage back into their graveyard, but even if they did, I'm only activating Pyxis at this point, so I'm keeping their graveyard nice and clean. Honestly, Jay, I'm glad I still play with this deck too. I went and did a little bit of adventuring with other decks, and it just didn't work, you know? Just didn't have any fun. I didn't enjoy it anymore. Oops. Oh, and they brought in Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, I think that's fair. Hello, Wrath of the Skies. Such an unbeatable Magic card. Bye-bye, Wrath of the Skies. Do I start milling them out? Yeah, I'll start milling them out. They don't have any other ways of getting Flage back, right? And they've only got this turn because I will be able to get rid of... I shouldn't have done that. I'll be able to get rid of their entire library between their next draw and the draw after that. All right, that was the last draw that they get for the entire game. So it really just doesn't matter anymore. Go ahead and exile everyone's stuff. Mill you a little bit. All right, mill you a little bit. And then exile and exile, and then F6 twice. There we go. Go ahead and put that up. Keep stop back. That would be very terrifying, wouldn't it? That Thraben Charm hasn't been in their hand for a while. Okay, so that was a game win versus Energy. We are going to be on the draw now. How do I feel about my sideboarding still? I think I'm okay with my sideboarding. I think Cling to Dust is just not as relevant as I would like it to be. So I think I will just run it back as is. How many Clarion Conquerors did they have? Did I see a Clarion Conqueror? I don't think I saw a Clarion Conqueror. This hand is not keepable. My opponent has also mulliganed. This hand is definitely a keep. I'm going to bottom a Shredder. Going to keep this, bottom a Shredder. All right, and we're off to the races. Both of us at 6. This is definitely a basic Swamp Inquisition hand. And then I think I'll grab basic Forest off the other one. Ragavan as the play here. That is a Lantern. Now, here's what I could do. I could cast Lantern now. They have a bad card on top of their deck. I Inquisition it away, hopefully, or they just play it on turn 2 and I die. I could play Inquisition now, cast Bauble targeting them. They have a bad card on top of their deck. That feels extra, extra bad. I could Bauble targeting them and then use Shredder to get rid of that bad card. And then they have an entire hand full of 4 cards that are all probably bad because they kept it. Or I could just Inquisition now. And I think I'm going to just Inquisition now. I'm going to play off of basics because I don't need to not play off of basics. And I'm not going to do any shenanigans. That is an Ajani Nakatl Pariah and a Static Prison. Huh. This is very interesting. This is very interesting indeed. Because if I take the Static Prison, then Ajani is a problem. I do not have an Ensnaring Bridge yet. If I take the Ajani, then I'm only taking 2 a turn as opposed to taking 2 and then 5 a turn. But at least when I find the bridge, then I find the bridge and it sticks, right? I don't have to worry about Static Prison causing trouble. But I could play bridge and then they could play Static Prison and then hit me again. And then I just trophy the prison. I think I'm going to take the Ajani. I'm going to attempt to deny them a turn 2 play. This is a very scary play, though. That Ajani is down. Arid Mesa is down. Ragavan is going to hit me. If they rip a Blood Moon here, that would actually kind of suck because this Verdant Catacombs would not be able to fetch a Stirring, a green source. And that Stirrings that they hit kind of sucks, actually. No, don't Blood Moon me. Don't Blood Moon me. Oh, they're Stirrings. They're finding a land. Huh. Yeah, they found an Arena of Glory. Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, well, I will fetch basic Forest off of this Verdant Catacombs, actually. Okay, let's go ahead and play a Lantern of Insight. Go ahead and play a Codex Shredder. Let's go ahead and cast a Mishra's Bauble and bauble myself because I want that Profane Tutor. I also want a land here for whatever it's worth. I want a land. And this Ragavan actually couldn't cast their Profane Tutor, but I also still need to hit a lot of stuff, actually. I kind of lost my train of thought. So I want the Profane Tutor, but I also want the 3rd land. I will let them draw Flage. I know 4 of the 5 cards in their hand, and that last card that I don't know is the card that I chose not to bauble on turn 1. So this Ragavan's going to hit me. I'm going to fall to 14. They're going to take that Fomori Vault off the top of my deck. I have a Mycosynth Gardens on top of my deck now. They're playing basic Plains. And they're choosing not to do anything here. So, how is this going to play out? I am going to untap. I'm going to draw. I'm going to play the Mycosynth Gardens. I'm going to play Profane Tutor, Lantern. I'm going to have Trophy in hand. They are going to draw Ocelot Pride. They're going to hit me for 2 off that Ragavan. I will fall to 12. Profane Tutor will... They'll play their Ocelot Pride, right? So Profane Tutor will tick down. I'll draw whatever. I'll have 2 cards in hand. Hopefully something I can cast. They will swing in again. They will hit me for 3. So I'll be at 9. Plage will bring me to 6. And then casting from the graveyard will bring me to 3. The question that I'm trying to answer is, do I want them having this Ocelot Pride, or do I want to mill it? I think I'm going to keep it. I think I can beat that. Oh, there's an ensnaring bridge just right there. Okay, yeah, we take those. Lantern, Profane Tutor. And then next turn, I will cast that ensnaring bridge, and then the turn after, I will Assassin's Trophy their Static Prison on it. They're fetching away anyway. Marsh Flats. Are they going to keep that? They did not keep that. Flage. They have Static Prison, Arena of Glory, and Flage. I think I have to let them draw the Flage. So they have 2 Flages in hand now. An Arena of Glory is down. Flage is down. And now, if their unknown card in hand is an untapped land, then I think I die. Because next turn, they will Static Prison the Ensnaring Bridge. And then they will... Oh, the Ragavan's gonna hit me and take my bridge, dang it. I forgot about Ragavan hitting me. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Yep, Ragavan's gonna hit me, I'm gonna fall to 9. That is an Ancient Stirrings on top of my deck now. Yeah, that sucks, actually. That sucks a lot. This Profane Tutor might not come off Suspend on time. I'm going to Ancient Stirrings here. That is an additional Ensnaring Bridge. So I could grab the Ensnaring Bridge, and then they don't have enough cards in their graveyard to escape Flage. I could grab the Mox Opal, or I could grab the Pyxis. This is a really tough choice. I think I need to take the Mox Opal, and I need to hope that I draw a land so that I can next turn play Ensnaring Bridge and Trophy. And I can't let them draw that Inquisition. This is tough. I think I might lose this. Destroy target artifact on my Codex Shredder. I will mill myself. That is a Thoughtseize. Oh, man. All right. Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls is down. That is Flage being escaped from the graveyard here. I don't think I'm going to win this. I am going to Trophy their Flage right now. I'm okay with them taking that Thoughtseize. I'm going to fall to 4. That is a Pithing Needle. Now, I do get to get this Profane Tutor here, but I need to hit exactly a discard spell off the top of my deck. And I can sacrifice at most 1 Lantern to have that happen. This is a Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge solves that in the short term. Oh wait, no it doesn't, because I have a Flage in hand, so they're just gonna kill me here. They're just gonna kill me here. Everybody, they're just gonna kill me here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yep. I was just a little bit behind on that. If that Ragavan hadn't taken that bridge, then I think I would have been okay. But, I don't know. I think that's the sort of match that I should review. I think I might have made a mistake or 2 in that last game. I don't know, though. It was some pretty tight margins. I just feel like I was 1 resource away from doing something really cool. Yeah, I think I was just 1 resource away from doing something. Oh well, it happens. I will move on to round 4, actually. Okay, we have started round 4 versus Paxed. Again on the play. With this hand, huh? This hand has a lot of good quote-unquote cards in it, but it just doesn't have lands. What I can do is I can Catacombs, fetch basic swamp, play Pyxis, Bobble, try to fix that. And then next turn I Lantern Thoughtseize, and then the turn after I Profane Tutor. That just... I think I'll try this sort of play pattern. I don't like playing like this. I feel like Profane Tutor might come off Suspend a little bit too late if I do something like that. Wow, yeah. Okay, well, they don't have any turn 1 plays that worries me. So I'm going to just continue doing the same thing that I was planning on doing. Swamp, Pyxis, cast that. Are they capable of dashing Ragavan turn 1? I do not believe so. Yeah, that's fine. I want land. I will keep any land. I will keep a Fomori Vault. I want another land, please. All right, so this game's texture just changed. I am going to suspend Profane Tutor on turn 2 now. And then turn 3, I am going to Lantern and then Thoughtseize. And then turn 4, I'm going to attempt to land an Ensnaring Bridge. It's just that simple. Land. Yes. Love to see it. Gonna play that out. I'm going to play a Lantern here. I am going to Thoughtseize my opponent. Leyline Binding, Dub, and Nakatl. I only have 2 lands. Well, this is very clearly take Leyline Binding with this, take Stub with my other discard spell. Hope they don't draw any interaction here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Stub is gone now. Okay, and I'm feeling perfectly fine now. I was a little bit worried at the beginning, but then I just drew land, and now I'm okay. I'm going to take 4 here. I don't even think I'm going to attempt to mill that Tribal Flames. I think I'm just going to let them have it. And then Profane Tutor, because I suspended it on turn 2, will come off suspend right on time. And I believe I will finally get a game 1 win. Territorial Kavu is down. That's Tribal Flames. And that was really fast, actually. They are going to Tribal Flames me, bringing me down to 8. That's fine. I'm going to play out my Urza Saga. I'm going to Pithing Needle that Wooded Foothills. I'm going to Ancient Stirrings here. I'm going to find Pyxis. I'm going to play Pyxis, and we are set. Nothing matters anymore. I'm going to take that Tribal Flames just for funsies. But I could actually allow them to draw it. It doesn't matter. I don't think I will spin this Mox Opal with Fomori Vault. I think I'm going to cast it. That happened very quickly. That happened extraordinarily quickly. If I hadn't drawn lands, then I would have been in much worse shape. But I did draw lands, so I'm not. Isn't that lovely how that works? I'm going to start milling to save on time. Oh, it's a Flage. I wonder what I'm going to do with that. And I'm at 40 cards in deck versus their 43. I think I will actually grab a Shredder here. Codex Shredder. Just try and break parity on that, I guess. I think they're going to make me mill them out. I mean, it's correct to make me mill them out, usually. All right, fine. I'll exile the Flage. Oh, they put it into their graveyard. All right, yeah, whatever. I think at this point they just hold cards in hand. Try to escape that Flage some. Maybe I'll grab a Graph Digger's Cage. Maybe I won't. I'm going to spin this Pithing Needle. I'm going to spin it into a Mishra's Bauble. And I'm going to cast it. For funsies. All right, so they can escape Flage here, put me to 5. And now fetch lands actually become a problem because they can grab Surveil lands that can dump a Flage. That would be less exciting if I allowed that to happen. I could simply grab Cookbook and just make this a non-issue, though. I don't know. We'll see what's in the deck. Surely there's an answer to something somewhere, right? That's a Cookbook. That's a Cage. Yeah, I'll just grab Cage. I have enough Mill Rocks right now. 1, 2, 3 Pyxides and 1 Shredder. Yeah, 3 Pyxides. There they are. Jumped around on me a little bit there. There's no need for me to hold cards in hand at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and burn this. Stubborn Denial is completely irrelevant. At least my Pyxides are grouped together now. That's nice. They say that I think it's over for me. I'm right. I told them most likely you'd need 9 runners in a row at this point. Ah, then GG, they say. All right. Well, I will take the win. It's nice to win a game 1, isn't it? I like winning game 1s. Okay. So sideboarding guide that I wrote says to take out the Cage, take out the Needles, and take out the Cling to bring in 2 Duresses and 2 Assassin's Trophies. I think that's fair, but could I also side out Cookbook and bring in a single Fatal Push? I think I could. And I've got Duresses in there specifically because I'm not trying to keep them off of threats. Their threats are all big, dumb beat sticks that die to an Ensnaring Bridge. So this is all about just protecting bridge. These duresses are for leyline bindings. They are for stubborn denials. What else would they play? I don't know what else they would play, but stuff like that. That being said, if they've got Clarion Conquerors in their sideboard, then I want to have some answers to that too. These Assassin's Trophies are just generally good as removal. So I think I will side like this. And we've got 7 cards. This is 4 lands, 2 baubles, and an ensnaring bridge. Do I keep this? Do I keep this? My opponent has mulliganed. These baubles would need to pull off quite a bit of work. Is 1 ensnaring bridge good enough to justify this hand? I don't think so. Yeah, this hand is much better. I will bottom... Do I bottom a land or do I bottom a Stirrings? I think I will bottom Prismatic Vista. I can Stirrings for a land if I really, really need to. My opponent has capped, and this allows me to do the bauble trick with choosing which land I play on turn 1. They don't need lands. They have lands. That is a second Stirrings. Okay, so bauble myself here. I will gladly take most things, actually. Will I take a Fomori Vault? I think I have 2 Stirrings in hand, and I can do better than a Fomori Vault. I'm going to have 2 draws and a Stirrings that I can fire off before I really need to worry about stuff. Consign to memory, a couple of lands, a couple of threats. It's a Thundering Falls, so that means that the Temple Garden will allow this Nakata to be a 3/3. I think I just take the Consign, right? That's pretty easy. It was a pretty easy choice. I'm going to draw a card here. It's a land. Glad I didn't keep that Fomori Vault. And now these Stirrings can find lock pieces. Temple Garden is down. Wild Nakatl is down. Would love another discard spell. Like, I don't think I really need it. But Trophy's fine too. Go ahead and find a piece of the Lantern Lock here. Or I could have an Ensnaring Bridge. I think I'll take that. Arid Mesa coming down. They can cast that Scion of Draco now. They are shocking in a Blood Crypt. That tells me that they are trying to leave up 1 mana interaction here. They're tapping the Thundering Falls and the Blood Crypt. They drew a Leyline Binding. I'm not worried about a Leyline Binding right now. I'm going to take 3 damage from these regardless of how I play them, right? That's not necessarily true, because next turn I could just drop an additional Ensnaring Bridge. So I think I will fetch basic Forest, and I will play Ensnaring Bridge. They did not cast the Leyline Binding that I thought they had. So they tapped out of their blue. Oh, I'm just still taking 7. Right, I'm still just taking 7. That is a Flooded Strand. Oh, they have the Scion of Draco, that's gone. It's a Profane Tutor. So I could dump down to 2 cards this turn, and it would be these 2 cards. I could shock in an Overgrown Tomb. I could Stirrings. I don't know. I don't think that that's particularly good. I could Stirrings for something. Oh, jeez. Do I really want to burn this Assassin's Trophy on a Wild Nakatl? Because really the only thing that I'm afraid of at this point is a bunch of burn, I guess. Am I even afraid of a Leyline Binding? I could play out Overgrown Tomb, I could suspend Profane Tutor, and then I could hold open Assassin's Trophy. I think that's the line that I'm going to take. And Bobby, to answer your question, the deck hasn't really changed much. It has 1 Mox Opal in it now. The fact is that there's just really not that many artifact synergies. Like, take a look at my hand right now. Would it really be helpful if I had a Mox Opal in this hand? I've got 2 Ensnaring Bridges, I've got an Ancient Stirrings, I've got an Assassin's Trophy in hand, I have 1 artifact in play. It's just not particularly good in a lot of different situations. That is a Leyline Binding. Do I want to do this now? Do I want to see if they will fetch? I think I'm just going to go ahead and hit it now. This is why I brought in the trophy. Oh, they're fetching. They're fetching right now. Uh-oh. Why are they fetching? Oh, okay. That's fine. They got basic mountain. None of their stuff can attack. Steam Vents is coming in tapped. And we are in a holding pattern. We are in a holding pattern. Yeah, I found the Mox Opal. There's the Mox Opal. Mox Opal doesn't look particularly good here. Although, it does allow me to play Lantern and Ensnaring Bridge. So I guess it wasn't that bad of a draw. But then again, any land would have worked as well. That is a Consign to Memory. I just don't care about Consign to Memory. Let me go ahead and drop this Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, so they have Consign to Memory and another card that I can only assume is a complete blank. It's a shame that I'm not going to have this Mycosynth Gardens. They could consign this Profane Tutor, but they chose not to. What you do with that is you consign the second Suspend trigger. I think I'm just going to grab a Pyxis here, right? Yeah, I'm just going to grab Pyxis. I will hold the Swamp in case I draw a Fomori Vault, I suppose. Oh, they're doing something big here. Rakshas's Bargain? No. No way. Oh, they're just super consigning that. Okay, that's fine. They are just super consigning that. Maybe I should have held it. I have an Inquisition on top of my deck. Come on, man. Come on, man. I had an Inquisition on top of my deck. I could have just had a little bit of patience. Yeah, no, Profane Tutor is really, really, really good, actually. It finds you what you need when you need it. More or less. I'm going to have to let them have the Leyline Binding. There's a Pyxis, right on time. Fortunately, I have the second Ensnaring Bridge, so this isn't just going to auto-kill me. The thing I worry about is that they're going to take the Lantern here. If they take Lantern, that's pretty bad. Yeah, Profane Tutor is just... It's... Oh, wait. Just check their hand. Check their hand. There's an unknown card in there. Check the hand. Lightning Bolts! Alright, that's nice to know about. So they have Leyline Binding in their hand. Which means that now I cannot allow them to draw any burn. Of which I'm sure they play some, right? But yeah, Profane Tutor, it just grabs what you need. It's really good. You need to prioritize getting it down as early as possible. It is a terrible top deck. But if you get it down on turn 2, then it coming off Suspend on turn 4 is just fantastic pacing. Leyline Binding, taking the Pyxis. Leyline Binding, taking the Pyxis. I have the time to think about this. So if they take Pyxis, they could Wear Tear my Lantern. I think at this point their outs are that they draw burn. That's what they're looking for. They're trying to keep me off of my Lantern lock so that they can draw burn. I'm gonna draw Profane Tutor. I think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna exile. They have a Lightning Bolt on top of their deck. That's gonna suck. All right, Duress on top of my deck. I'm only mildly grateful that I did that, I think. Bobby, that's a really good point. Flage isn't out for them right now. I don't have any life gain left in the deck. I've sided out my things, my cookbooks. Duress into Inquisition is not really what I wanted to be doing. I wonder if I hold the Inquisition and allow them to hit me with Ragavan to try and clear a dead draw off the top of my deck. That is an option that I have available to me. How many fetch lands do I have left? 1, 2 are used. I don't need any more lands, so I could just choose to not click on the fetch land. I'm going to draw this Inquisition, and I'm going to see what happens. No, I want that Fomori Vault. Never mind. I want the Fomori Vault. Okay. Arid Mesa. All right, let's spin to win. Spin to win. Codex Shredder. That is exactly what I wanted here. And we're good. Yeah, Vault was a huge pickup there. I think that sealed the game. In all fairness, I was down on Fomori Vault until Thinker enlightened me on how good it can be. Just having that top deck, wow, that was fantastic. Well, my opponent said, oh, I don't need more lands. All right, it's over again. GG, thanks for the learning. Heart emoji. You know, thank you too. I had a good time with you. All right, well, we are 2-2. I am playing for the positive record now. Let's go ahead and bring up round 5. Okay, we have started round 5 against a Daybreak account. Jarvis U. Jarvis U? Jarvis. Hi, Jarvis. I don't know if I can keep this hand. This hand does Thoughtseize, Profane Tutor, and Snaring Bridge. Is that good enough? I guess we'll find out. Least Mox Opal isn't a land, right? Uh-huh. Do I play Pyxis? Nah, I don't play Pyxis. I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. Wow. Yeah, that's a collection of cards that are legal in Modern. Faithless Looting, Psychic Frog, Thought Scour, Unearth. I think I'm gonna take the Unearth. Am I gonna take the Unearth? Yeah, I'll take the Unearth. Alright. Unearth is gone. They're playing a good deck. You're right, they are playing a very good deck. They milled an Emperor of Bones, so now I'm glad I took that Unearth, because that would have been a very good hit. They're still going to drop a Psychic Frog here, right? Yeah. Psychic Frog, basic Swamp down, 1 unknown in their hand, giving me an opening to fetch a basic Forest, basic Swamp, excuse me, and suspend this Profane Tutor. Oh, they discarded an Archon of Cruelty. That's not good. Is that not good? Is that actually not good, though? Do I care about this? Just discarding a land? Oh, the Thought Scour's gone, so they have 2 unknowns in hand. Watery Grave is coming down. They're shocking it in. All right, I'm taking 2 here. They're going to draw an additional card. What do I fear here? I fear a Spell Pierce. I fear a Force of Negation. I don't fear a Spell Snare, which is what I feel like they're holding up. I can cast this Inquisition of Kozilek after I play all of my stuff out. All right, whatever. You better have a Force of Negation right now. You drew 3 cards. There's a chance you've got one. Yeah, they drew a Force of Negation. They drew a Spell Pierce. Oof. 5, 7, 10 off of the Archon trigger. Yeah, I mean, like, what was I supposed to do there? There's not much else that I could have done. So now the question is, do I discard the Pyxis to try and keep this Inquisition in case I spike a land? Or... oh, wait, no, it doesn't matter. They're just going to kill me with Psychic Frog. Right. They're just going to kill me with Psychic Frog. Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to let them do it because I want to see more of their deck. I think I'm going to concede here. Yeah, that's 5, 9, 12. That's Exacxies. Yeah, they had the Spell Pierce that won the game, and I just didn't have an opening to cast Discard. Well, that happens. So we are playing against Grixis Reanimator, Yuki says. That's interesting. Grixis Reanimator. Well, if I'm playing against a Reanimator deck, then I want Grafdigger's Cage, right? I think so. Torpor Orb, I don't think is good. Pithing Needle might be good. Trophy might be good. Ashiox might be good. I feel like I just want my Duresses. Pithing Needle. Is Pithing Needle good? Pithing Needle would stop Emperor of Bones. It would stop Psychic Frog. I don't know if that is good enough. What am I realistically siding out here? Cling to Dust stays in. Shredder, Cage, all that stays in. Pithing Needle, I think hitting Prog and Emperor of Bones is just, I don't think that's good enough. Because both of those things, more or less, just get shut down by Ensnaring Bridge anyway. It's not like Pithing Needle is covering an out that Ensnaring Bridge wouldn't also cover. I want to keep my trophies in because I want removal for their creatures in case I'm just getting beat to death by one thing. That would be a thing that I could side out, though. I could side out a trophy and bring in a Fatal Push. Ashiok is going to be too slow. Exiling their graveyard one time doesn't really help. And it is only going to be one time because it's just going to take a hit from a Psychic Frog and then die after that. I think I really want to protect my ensnaring bridge. I think that's how I win this game. I could side out trophy for fatal push. I think I'm going to side out trophy for fatal push. All right. Yeah, let's run it like that. I hope that I don't regret siding out trophy for fatal push. I would like to be on the play. Yeah, like this hand. Like, what does this hand do? This hand does turn 1 Urza Saga things. Is turn 1 Urza Saga things good enough? Like, I go turn 1 Opal Bauble, Pithing Needle on a blind target. I'd have to do a 50-50 split between Emperor and something else. It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? Like, I could just go to 6 and find discard spell ensnaring bridge and then be much happier. But I still have Profane Tutor in this hand. I think I'm not sure about this. I am not sure about this. But I do think that this is a turn 1 Urza Saga hand. I think I'm going to drop a Pithing Needle. Oh, they're F6'd. Now the skill shot. If I name Psychic Frog, then that means Emperor of Bones is their out. They would need Emperor of Bones plus Faithless Looting, Thought Scour, something like that, in order to really pop off with it. If I name Emperor of Bones, then they have Psychic Frog. I think I'm going to name Emperor of Bones. The reason for this is this Urza Saga can find a Grafdigger's Cage. And that Grafdigger's Cage would come down when Psychic Frog is cast. Yeah, I think my opponent might just be fundamentally unprepared for this type of hand. It's likely they sided out a lot of creature removal. That is 2 Profane Tutors. I am going to just play Blooming Marsh, and I'm going to pass. The thing about putting Pithing Needle on Emperor of Bones is that if I had put Pithing Needle on Psychic Frog, and I had gotten Grafdigger's Cage, then Emperor of Bones is not really going to, you know, be stopped by Grafdigger's Cage. Oh, they discarded themselves. Oh, that's terrifying. Yeah, that's a thing that you're allowed to do. What the? All right, that's weird. I don't know why it wasn't allowing me to just do that right away. Fortunately, these constructs are just going to be larger than anything than an Oculus even. Now, what do I grab? I could grab a Grafdigger's Cage, but I have an Ancient Stirrings. I could grab a Lantern and attempt to keep them off of stuff. I feel like they've already done their broken thing, right? Oh, they revealed their hand to Thoughtseize. What am I even doing here? What am I even doing here? Okay, so they discarded the Abhorrent Oculus. They cast the Unearth. They have Bloodstained Mire, Raucous Theater, Emperor of Bones, and Archon of Cruelty, which means that if I chew through this Abhorrent Oculus, then I just win, right? I think I'm going to grab a Grafdigger's Cage, although they would need to do something pretty cool in order to be able to get an Archon of Cruelty into play right now. I might just grab a Lantern and hope I hit a Millrock. I think I'm going to grab a Lantern. That's a meltdown. That's a meltdown. That's a meltdown. That's a meltdown on top of their deck right there. That's meltdown. Okay, it's only my turn 3, so I don't have a land drop here. I'm going to grab Pyxis. What's on top of my deck? I have to make them shuffle, right? Yeah, I have to make them shuffle. I'm going to attack with this construct. They're going to not choose to block. I have to make them shuffle. Like, I just can't let them have that meltdown. Well, I'm really glad that I did what I did. They're going down quite low. Are they planning on using their manifest creatures to do some blocking here? They drew a meltdown anyway? Are you serial? Okay. I had them shuffle, right? I'm gonna check my log. I'm gonna check my log here. Yeah, I had them shuffle. Oh man, that's beautiful. Oh, I should have popped Bobble. Oh, I threw it. What if I did Bobble and then into naturally top deck ensnaring bridge, huh? Aw, man. 5, 7, 9. I'm going to fetch a basic here. That was brutal. Wow, that was brutal. And now, because I went this aggro route, Profane Tutor is not going to come off suspend early enough. Whereas if I had suspended it the turn that I made the construct, then I would have been okay. They did put Faithless Looting into their graveyard. Oh, they flipped a Psychic Frog. And they're gonna hit me for lethal right here. They're not even gonna give me the chance. Wow, that was brutal. That was absolutely disgusting. Yup. That does it. All right. Wow. That happened. That was a thing that I did that happened. Yeah, I think the aggro plan just didn't really work. Mostly because of the meltdown. I feel like if they had drawn basically anything else, then it would have been okay. But they had what I assume is at most a 3-of in their sideboard on top of their deck. And then I shuffled them, and then they had it on top of their deck anyway. So maybe it wasn't really a problem with the plan. It was just that I got extremely unlucky. Let's say, what, 1 out of, like, 15 chance into a 1 out of 15 chance, something like that. It happens. I will take the L on that, and I will wrap up. So what did I think of the deck? I think a decent chunk of this was pilot error. I think some of it was just bad beats. I think some of it was just me not having enough resources. If I were to be tuning this deck, I don't know. I might just have to run it back and see what happens. I don't really think I need to be doing that much tuning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 5. I lost a lot of games today. I lost 7 games and I won 5 of them. The Edge of Eternity stuff is really, it's a big deal. It's a pretty big deal. It makes me wonder if I need some sort of bigger removal, maybe more removal. Perhaps Cling to Dust should just be the second trophy. Maybe something like Bitter Triumph. I don't know. Cling to Dust just didn't really come up much. I had to, hold it up and I had to draw it. I'm not sure. I think that last round, I just got extraordinarily unlucky. My opponent had the top deck meltdown into the top deck meltdown after the shuffle. That just doesn't happen that often. And I don't think that I need to really be letting that warp my perspective of what happened here. I don't know. I think that I just need to run it back. I'm going to try this on another league sometime next week, I think. And I will see what happens then. This program is made possible by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to the Fate Seal MTG Patreon from viewers like you. Thank you.